Listen, if you're here on my channel, I hope you came here with an open mind. But I will be asking the difficult questions. Since nobody wants to ask it, I'll do it. Is Islam restrictive? Or do we just not understand it? Do we just don't understand it? Because I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. Everything is taught for a reason. Everything that is told, there is a reason. There is no way we are obliged to do something if the reason does not benefit us. I will start by saying that. So if you're willing to wonder, if you're willing to think deeper, stay tuned. What makes me think I'm qualified to speak about this is because simply I am a Muslim girl who was born into a Muslim family, grew up with Muslim traditions and teachings. So I have seen inside and out how I was taught, how people view it, and how people try to subject their own teachings and their upbringings to other people. Difficult topic. So before you continue listening to me, I need you to have an open mind. I need you to listen and then wonder. Ponder at your own time. Comment your thoughts because I'd love to hear them. Why do I say that I can speak about this just because I'm a Muslim girl? Let's start with how Muslim boys and Muslim girls have different obligations. Simple as that. The argument that people like to make is that Islam is oppressive because it forces women to wear the hijab, to cover up, to wear modest clothes only. And if they don't, then they are a bad Muslim. Or basically, girls are not allowed to wear what they want. At surface level, yes. It seems as if our choice is taken away. I can't take this hijab off and show it to you guys because it's sinful. It's a sin. I can't wear tight clothes. I can't expose myself the way feminism today asks or encourages women to do, because nowadays we are all about girl power. We want to reject societal beliefs, the box that women are put. We want to break those borders, yes. But for Muslim girls, it's not that easy because we have our values and we have our beliefs. But do all Muslim girls cover up? Do all Muslim girls wear modestly? Do all Muslim girls wear the hijab perfectly? No, I don't either. Sometimes you want to wear it short, sometimes you want to wear it long, sometimes you want to take it off. Those are just the obstacles that we as girls have to face. And either you win the battle or you lose to nafs, to your urges. That's really not anyone else's place to say. If you choose to wear it properly, good. If you don't, then it's just a loss, but it's not the end. See, non-Muslims like to point and blame. But here's why. I'll tell you why Islam tells women to cover. We cover only for the public, which means in our home, in our rooms, in the safety of our space, with girls, with our families, our brothers, our fathers, and our uncles on our dad's side, we don't have to cover. We don't have to cover our hair, our neck, but we still have to cover our bodies, but we don't have to cover the way we have to cover with the outside world. Why? It is known that women comes with beauty. Girls are beautiful. Attractiveness, subjective, not my place to judge. The only thing that will make me see a girl ugly is if she's a bad person. If you're not a bad person, you're automatically a beautiful girl to me. But point is, girls are beautiful. And what happens to beautiful girls? People look at them. People meaning guys. That is what Islam wants girls to stay away from. The male gaze. Why is it so bad that people look at Muslim girls? Because it brings want, brings need. It's attracting unwanted, unsafe attention. Okay? If your beauty, if you're beautiful and you are, automatically people will look at you. But if you do it at a certain way, as in cross a certain line that enhances your beauty more, and by that I mean showing your curves, showing your hair, showing your neck, showing your skin, it will attract attention that may be unwanted and unsafe. Most likely are unwanted and unsafe. Maybe wanted, but unsafe. The point is unsafe. Because when there are unsafe people being attracted to you, you have no idea what they are capable of doing to you. And I don't have to explain what, because I think we're in a generation that knows exactly what men can do to women, unfortunately speaking. So that is what Islam wants to protect us from. Danger. But they don't tell us to be ugly. Not they. Islam doesn't tell us to be ugly or messy, or Islam takes hygiene very seriously. You just have to be presentable, clean, and kind. There are lines that we must not cross. Because if you do, you might gain bad responses. So does it, but it's still restrictive though. You can't show this, you can't show that, you can't do what you want. Yeah, there's a lot of things girls can't do. There are a lot of things a Muslim girl cannot do, and actually a lot of things a Muslim man can't do too. Most of what is being told to Muslim girls are also applied to Muslim men. I have times I was really heavily considering going against the rules, but I find myself thinking about my values of the kind of woman I want to be, and that is a woman who protects her honor and her dignity. So I try my best not to feel so urged to be like the girls I see online, because some things we just can't do. We can't drink, we can't party, we can't smoke, we can't mingle too much, we can't touch the opposite gender if it's not your family, if it's not your direct family. It's all the things that accumulates and lead to a bad encounter that you might not want. It's precaution, but it is heavily important for you to not do. Heavily prohibited is what I'm trying to say. So yes, on the outside, Islam may be restrictive, but it is for a good reason. Is the reason good enough for you to stay within the boundaries of what Islam tells you to? That is your decision to make. Because me, I I think I am really lucky to be born into a Muslim family because I'm immediately surrounded by what I should do, what I should not do, why I shouldn't do this, and why I should do this. So I understand why I'm being told what I'm being told to do. I think that's the first part of everything. If you are told to do something, if you are told not to do something, something that you want to do but they don't let you, you have to understand why, because there has to be a reason. The only problem is the reason good enough? And I believe Islam's reason is good enough. It's benefiting me, it's protecting me and us. What else can be seen as restrictive? Muslims have to pray 5 times a day, every day. They have to fast 30 days straight. They have to go to prayer at the mosque every Friday. They have to do this, they have to do that. Is it fussy? Is it tiring? Is it another thing to add to the checklist? Is it time consuming? I will not say no, because it is. Praying and fasting, everything that is obligated for a Muslim to do, if you believe in Islam, it is time consuming. It does get fussy because you, again, if you don't do it, you sin. If you do it, you get rewards. So in a way, you do not have a choice. However, what's the reason? From the way I see it, it builds your discipline. It is worship. It's the same way as I believe Christians go to church every Sunday, right? But for us Muslims, there's just a lot of things to do. People see the physicality of it, what you have to do, because if you don't do this, you're going to hell. But they don't see the rewards given. Neither do we. I don't see my scoreboard of how many sins I've done. Islam does ask its followers and believers, Islam, I'll say Allah. Allah does ask his believers to do a bunch of stuff for the sake of him. And it can get tedious, it can. But the whole part of why it's so rewarding is because it's tedious, you still do it, then you are at a higher level than other people who find it tedious and don't want to do it instantly. Because you fight against your urges to simply not pray. Because I'll put it like this. Allah tells us to pray. That we must pray. If you don't pray, you sin. When you sin a lot, you go to hell. That's the simple understanding. But as human beings, you can still choose to pray or not to pray. It's quite simple actually. If you strongly believe that you want to be in the afterlife peaceful and in heaven, you go take your wudu and go pray. Simple. But if you find it tedious and lazy, or you don't see a reason for it as a Muslim, you just don't pray. But that will cost you. The consequences are, now there's a sin on your hands. When there's a sin on your hands, you accumulate that, you go to hell. But what they don't tell you is that when you sin, for whatever reason, maybe you don't fast, maybe you don't pray, maybe you don't cover up properly. When you sin, Allah will take away your peace. Suddenly everything is annoying, everything doesn't work, your homework doesn't get done, your classmates are not helping you do your work, your assignment cannot be submitted and it's already 2 minutes past the deadline, your money suddenly gets stolen, your house gets burned. It can be anything. But then again, it is your choice. Islam just tells you what's gonna happen if you don't do it. So it's kind of like a passive aggressiveness. But then again, personally, talking from experience, is it easy to pray 5 times a day, every day, and stay disciplined? Sometimes you don't want to. Sometimes it's very annoying because as a girl, you have to take off your tudung, you have to wash your makeup, and if you don't even have makeup, you have to wash your skincare, you have to roll up your sleeves, you have to take off your socks, you have to find a place to find water to take your wudu, and then you have to wear telekung or like a really long hijab for you to pray. You have to have a prayer mat, you have to be at a clean space, you have to be on time within the time frame, and you have to do it 5 times a day. And then you have to take off that prayer hijab and you have to wear your hijab, your normal hijab back, and you have to continue your day. Repeat that 5 times every single day, unless you're on your period. So it's not simple, but you can see it as simple. It's tedious, it's time consuming, but once it becomes a routine, you should be fine. You shouldn't even think twice about it. The starting is difficult because you have to spend one compartment of your mind to plan when and where and how to pray. But of course, when you dive in deeper, they have exceptions. Maybe if you're traveling very far, then you can pray only twice. There's a lot of exceptions. You just have to go and study it properly. The saying is, Islam itu memudahkan, which means it's simple. It is simplified when needed. But you can't overuse that simplicity. You can't take advantage of some exceptions or use it wrongly, because then what is your purpose? What is your reason for doing that? Fasting teaches you to manage your time, detox your body. Remember that there are people in our lives that have it so much more difficult than us. People who are starving, people who don't have food on their table, yet they still manage to do what needs to be done. So what is our excuse? We have to fast, which means not eat or drink from sun up to sundown. And after sundown, we can eat. What about the people who have no food at all? Sun up or sundown, overnight, whole day, they have nothing to eat. So they fast 24 hours. So what is our excuse for lacking? That is what Islam tries to remind us of. And it's very healing. It's very humbling, I'd say. Because you get lazy sometimes. You get lazy, you procrastinate, you delay your prayers, and then some way, somehow, you're reminded of how easy you have it in life, how simple, how lucky you are to even be here. Talk about the people who are dying, the children who are bombed, the people who are killed, who are shot, who are tortured, locked up with no light, no food, no drink, no privacy, no human rights. And people are just living freely, happily, not... I like to believe that we are doing something about the people in Palestine, but I don't see any changes, and it breaks my heart. That I'm here, I can put on makeup, I can wear my own clothes, I can have a fan, I can have a room, I have a comfortable bed. But somewhere there's a 19-year-old girl who's built like me, whose mind is like me, who speaks like me, maybe even looks like me, but she doesn't have the luxuries that I have. I may be deviating from topic, but my point still stands. There is immense reward for, in this life and in the afterlife, for people who overcome their wants and needs and urges for the sake of Allah. Because when you do something for the sake of Allah, there's always benefit for you. It is either you get it now, you get it tomorrow, next month, or in 10 years. Or you just feel spiritually peaceful. Like everything goes smoothly, nothing is annoying, nothing is pissing you off, because you are granted with happiness, with contentment, fulfillment. That's it. Speaking of which, I saw this clip. It was Dean Withers debating 20 MAGA supporters. And one of the girls, one of the women were like, the Islamists want to force everyone to believe in Islam. The Islamists, they are praying on the streets, which is a threat and dangerous to us. Okay, I'm just praying on the streets. I don't understand what's so threatening about that. It's a form of worship. You should be doing the same, shouldn't you? But here's how Dean replied. Dean said, if you're a Christian, do you want everyone to go to heaven? And everyone in the room raised their hands. Well, not everyone, most of them, the Christians in the room, they raised their hands because they do want everyone to end up in heaven in the afterlife. And then Dean asked, do you believe that in order to get into heaven, you have to be a Christian? Their hands are still raised. So he concluded that as a Christian, you believe that everyone must be a Christian for everyone to be in heaven. So that girl immediately, because he's right for that. As a Muslim, we want everyone to end up in heaven too. But we believe that in order to get into heaven, you have to do what a Muslim does. You have to believe, you have to worship, you have to cleanse the evil. You have to believe in Islam. So you have to be a Muslim in order to get into heaven. So there's a difference in time and eras. Back then, during the time of Nabi Muhammad ﷺ, their worship, their da'wah, which is teachings, spreading, talking about Islam and sharing it to people, inviting people to join Islam, their way of doing it was da'wah, yes, teachings, invitings, small meetings, small group meetings, and also war with other regions who directly oppose Islam. So there was war, there was violence, there was killing, but only with people who were against Islam. But nowadays, time has changed. We as humans, we as populations have learned to coexist. In Malaysia itself, there are so many religions. There's Islam, Buddhists, Christians, Hindu, I think. I'm still learning with my Indian and Chinese and friends about their beliefs as well, because I think it's interesting. I'd like to know what you think. I'd like to know what you believe in, because most of the time it's the same. There are differences, but our values are the same. We strive to be kind, generous, brave, honest, responsible, reliable. The core of being a good person. That's it. So I don't understand what we're fighting about. It is, yes, we are encouraged to spread our religion so that more people join us, but never forcefully. We don't do that anymore. And I don't believe in forcing people at all. Because I think, like I said, you force people to do something that they don't want to do, they have to understand why they are told to do what they are told to do, so that they can make their choice, so that they can make that choice for themselves. Choosing to join Islam because they think Islam is beautiful the way I think Islam is beautiful. there are lots of struggles as a Muslim for me to go through. There are tons, and I can share with you every single thing. You just gotta ask for it, because I'm open. I'm open to speaking about anything and everything. I think that acknowledging a difficulty is the first step to overcoming it. Because if you stay in denial, if I tell you, oh, praying is fine, it's so easy, it shouldn't be a problem, it shouldn't be a problem to pray 5 times a day on time every day in my life, that is a lie. And I don't lie. I will come to you with facts, with true experiences, because I believe people deserve to hear that. You deserve to know what I'm going through if you wish to know it. Lying gets you nowhere most of the time. So if you used to think that Islam is tiring, exhausting, oppressive, restrictive, it is. Not oppressive, but restrictive, yes. For girls especially, and for guys as well. I'll say that. But we have to try and understand why. There is always a benefit, a good reason for our safety, for our health, for our well-being, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. There is good. You just have to see it. It's not going to work if you refuse to see it. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you for listening. And if you are still here, go check out my socials, my Instagram, my Pinterest, and my TikTok. I'll put them in the descriptions, because I'll be posting things that are somewhat similar, I guess. Not really, but go check it out. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Comment and like and subscribe.